Each episode of Education with an Edge is meant to create, cultivate, and inspire honest discussion about issues affecting youth. Hosted by author, artist, educator, advocate, and speaker, Jaquel Lane.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jaquel Lane, and I am your hostess of Education with an Edge, the podcast that is dedicated to all things children, because children are what matters and they are our future. We believe that, and we just want to project that to the world as well. I am so excited to have our guest today, Saige Vohs, with us on Education with an Edge podcast, and it's so exciting. I'm going to read a little bit about her bio, and then we're going to talk about why October is such an important month. So Saige is a certified rehabilitation counselor with over 15 years of experience working with and learning to work with individuals diagnosed with disabilities. Her experiences range from various diagnoses and settings, focusing on employment for over 10 years. She graduated from Emporia State University with a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling and from Bellevue University with a bachelor's degree in behavioral science. She became a certified rehabilitation counselor in 2020. As a person with type 1 diabetes, Saige is a strong advocate for individuals of all disabilities. She believes that every person is competent. Most of Saige's past experiences are with vocational rehabilitation in Nebraska and North Dakota. Currently, she works at UNMC Monroe Meyer Institute in the UCEDD as the Employment Services Liaison. She lives in Omaha and is the mother of 2 beautiful children, a neurotypical girl and a boy with autism. After her son's diagnosis, she began to explore opportunities to work more closely in the field of intellectual disabilities. I'm so grateful to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Jaquel.
Absolutely. And I have to give a plug. I'm so very proud. So Saige is my cousin. And so it's extra special today. I'm so very proud of her and all of her accomplishments, and grateful that you're just able to share your passion with the world. And I can say that her kids are the cutest in the world. That's just my opinion. But okay, so we're going to get right into it. So I want our audience members to know why October is such an important month. And I would like you to tell us a little bit what Monroe Meyer Institute does and is, and why you are wanting to highlight the month of October.
Yeah, absolutely. So October is National Disability Employment Awareness Month. So it's really the month where we get to do things like this, and we get to talk about why it's so great to hire those individuals with disabilities for your business, and to work for you and with your employees. Monroe Meyer Institute is located here in Omaha, Nebraska. It serves individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and really it transforms their lives. So I can't say enough good things about MMI, honestly. They have so many different departments. They do so many different types of therapies, and they serve so many individuals from Nebraska throughout the entire year, and they are really clear across the whole state. They have over 550 employees. They do 50 different types of clinical services. And actually my son receives services from them. So as a parent, I can't say enough good things. And as an employee, I can't say enough good things.
I love that. And they have a beautiful new building. And so
Yes.
They've expanded their services.
Yes, absolutely. It's fantastic. They made every single inch of that building accommodating to individuals of all different types. And it's just, I've never seen anything like it. It's phenomenal.
I love that. One of the things that we like to highlight on Education with an Edge is just this inclusivity mindset, because there's so many things that we don't think about. We don't mean to be, maybe businesses don't, or employers don't mean to be exclusive, but even something as simple as having a wheelchair ramp or special modifications for individuals with disabilities. It's so very important to think about that, so that we are not being exclusive, we're being inclusive.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's even a really simple, reasonable accommodation, such as a list or a certain button indication on a phone or a keypad, and those things aren't always known. Like you said, I mean, it's just something that I've been doing this for so long. It's so second nature to me. And sometimes I forget it's not for everybody else too.
Absolutely. Well, we're grateful that you are highlighting it this month. And I think it's really important to bring awareness, not just in October, but throughout the year too. So thank you for the work that you do. So why is the topic of disability employment important to you specifically?
Yes, absolutely. So I really started to pay attention to employment and disabilities when I started going to work. I enjoyed waitressing. I liked it. It was my first job. And then I noticed that it really affected my diabetes. I had no idea it was going to. I mean, I didn't even think about it before starting work. And so now that's a big part of why I want to talk to others and let them know, or, you know, educate them or encourage them to think through those processes about how is this going to affect you or how is this not going to affect you, and having the right fit makes a big difference too. So it really made a big difference to me in my personal life. And absolutely now as a parent, I know that, 11 years down the road, it's going to make a big difference to me too. So, and I see it every single day and the difference that it makes in everyone that I work with. And it's really, it's heartwarming.
I think that the work that you're doing is so impactful for a couple of reasons, because I think back to, and you said waitressing, I think back to some of the jobs that I've had that maybe weren't as acknowledging of whether it be a specific gender and, you know, common things that we go through. You know, for instance, I'm a woman, and common things. I'm just going to put it out there because I was a teacher for a lot of years, not being able to go to the restroom whenever I wanted to or could, you know, or, you know, and I think, or maybe, you know, being a female and working in a male dominated field, or being one with a disability, that's the only one that has that disability. So just employers being cognizant of those things, and once again, like acknowledging everyone's uniqueness, and that we are better together collaboratively, and that our differences make us stronger. And so I think it's phenomenal, the work that MMI is doing and that you are doing. And I also think it's beautiful because through your diabetes, and through your child's autism, you are looking down the road and also making a better, brighter world for them, you know, when they enter the workforce. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try to do it as much as I can now, and I know it'll affect the future lives of the younger kids too. And I mean, that's what I can do. And so that's the only thing that I can do to change anything. And inclusivity is exactly the word to describe it. A lot of times people don't think about disabilities as being inclusive, especially, I mean, you know, there's a lot of hype going around in society about being inclusive, and disabilities often isn't included. So I'm really glad you brought that word up, because that's absolutely the way to explain it and describe it.
You are working on a project called Project Search. What would you like our guests to know about this initiative?
Yeah, so Project Search is really neat. It started in Cincinnati, and it has since grown even to other countries. It's huge. I think I couldn't even give you a number of how many sites exist, because it changes every day. So our students who are in their last year of transition services, so they're generally 20, going to be turning 21, and they find a host business to partner with, and there's lots of collaborative partners. There's Voc Rehab for Omaha. There's Madonna. There's Sodexo. UNMC MMI. I mean, there's so many, I don't think I can even remember them all. Unfortunately, I probably missed somebody, but it's where the students get to come to the host business for their entire last transition school year and get to do hands-on services, hands-on work experiences in the business. So each student gets 3 different rotations throughout the year, so they get to be actual non-paid employees, but they get to work right alongside the rest of the staff who works at UNMC, and they get to do the actual job tasks it takes. And then the employers see, well, this student's doing really well. Or they talk to another employer and they say, hey, I think they'd be great for your open job. Or they get hired right at the hospital. And it's a lot of collaboration, and we have at our site in particular, we have an 89% success rate for employment. And actually at Bellevue Med Center, they have 100% success rate for employment. So they certainly have shown the evidence that it definitely works.
First of all, I love that program, and I did not know about that program, and so I'm super excited that our audience gets to learn about that program. I don't know if I can mention this business, but there is a business in town, and I just have to say that one of their objectives is to hire individuals with disabilities, and it absolutely makes my day. And I know people that shop there just for that reason, because they have so much to offer. They are so very accommodating and happy, and really, really add to the whole cultural environment of the workplace. And so it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Positive attitudes all around, everywhere. And I get to walk into that classroom and just positivity. I mean, it's the greatest days.
I love that. Can you tell us about the Trailblazer program and why you are so passionate about that?
Yeah, so Trailblazers is another program that we operate through Monroe Myers Institute. Rachel Ray, my colleague, is the program manager of that program in particular. And students who are Trailblazer students attend classes at UNO, and they might be modified a little bit to maybe fit the curriculum or test-taking accommodations that they might need, but they work one-on-one with Monroe Myers Institute staff, and they get to go to the actual classes at UNO. They go for, they're not credit, but at the end they get a certificate. And so, for example, if a student is really interested in criminal justice, then they're going to take the college classes that are geared towards criminal justice. So they get to learn a lot more about the field. And then we also work on employment too. So one of the students might have a job and coordinate that with their classes. We will help them work through things for their job if they need it. We're also going to have that as references. We can be references for them. They're learning how to do work. They're learning how to go to class. They get to have an actual college experience, and that's the best part.
That's so very important. And I think the way that is modeled for them, and honestly, we talk about individuals with disabilities, but a lot of these accommodations are things that help the greater good and help everyone as a whole. So that's one of the things that even I learned early on in my teaching experience, was that I'm like, this really is not that much work. And if I can do one small thing that is going to really help everyone, why wouldn't we? And so that is wonderful. Can you give us just a little bit of an overview of the organization of the group instructional classes and how they are assisting students?
Yeah, so we do some college and career prep classes too. So in class, we talk about how to prepare for an interview, what to wear to an interview. I like to discuss if you're on the job and you have a customer who is upset, how do we handle that? And I think that all the things that we teach are all the things that all students get instruction on. So it's really no different, but we do a lot more one-on-one work, and we teach it at the pace that it's needed to be taught at, and we go into the details that need to be discussed.
Excellent. What are some highlights that you would like people to know about disability employment?
So I always like to talk about reliability and dedication and positive attitude. Anytime I've worked with somebody who is looking for a job, you know that they want that job. You know that their heart is 100% in it. They're going to show up. They're going to be there every day. They're going to be dedicated to their work. And they're going to be happy about it because they are just so excited for the opportunity. And it's just such a great thing to see, especially when somebody has a goal and they accomplish that goal through our help or through anyone's help. And then just to see how much it transforms their lives or what a difference it makes in their lives. Employment affects everything, just like health affects everything. It's a big part of our lives, and a lot of people take it for granted, but a lot of the people I work with don't.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think that that's important for us as a community and a culture to be aware of too, is that the more that we lean in and we bring individuals in, we're going to be stronger. And so by allowing opportunities for everyone, we will get better.
Yeah.
Can you share just a little bit, and speaking about communities, why is disability employment important for our communities and our economy as a whole?
Yeah, absolutely. So Project Search students aren't on the job site during the summer, and you hear everyone at the hospital talking about how, oh man, we sure miss them. Even that little bit is definitely proof of what a difference that they make. And everyone just likes the positivity, of course. I've mentioned that several times. I don't think I can mention it enough, though. It's so fun for them. It's important for the community because when we all work, the community works.
Yes.
Everybody deserves the opportunity to prove themselves, and when a community gives that opportunity, the community, it ends up being for the greater good. I mean, I choose to go to those employers who hire individuals with disabilities. I tend to have a great time whenever I'm working with somebody who's employed who has a disability. I just think that, I mean, all people are people, and when I'm around somebody who's kind and friendly and happy, I have a greater experience. And I don't go through many days where I don't get to see that.
And that's a true gift. And I'm thinking about some of the employers that I frequent, and I frequent them because they employ individuals with disabilities. And in a lot of instances, the word disability is kind of an interesting word, because I would even change that and look at it that many of these individuals, it's a gift,
Yeah.
They're more patient. They take time. For older individuals, they take time to conversate with you. I think that, sometimes the general population, we can really get in our heads and we're rushing around, and, these individuals take time for the things that matter. And so that's going to make the workplace better as well.
Yeah, I learn a lot from a lot of the students I work with, because they'll have certain areas that they're focused on. Like someone might really like football, or someone might really like Netflix series. And I tell you, I learned so much just from having a conversation throughout the day. And it's really fun.
I love that. So can you please share how our guests can learn more about the Monroe Meyer Institute and the work that you are doing at UNMC?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a website that anyone can go to and read all about it. We have a Facebook page too. Our Facebook page actually is Monroe Meyer Institute. And then the website, you guys can find it at unmc.edu. You might have to navigate a little bit to get to MMI, but we have that new gorgeous facility too. Of course, it's on 6902 Pine Street. So if you need to head over to that direction, you can always stop in the door. We have great people working at the front desk. We even have somebody that we worked with through the Trailblazers program who recently got hired to work at the front desk. Yeah, and she's just a light. So anybody would be happy to help, and all you have to do, and we've been giving tours of the new building, and a lot of the collaborations that we have around town, a lot of people do know about Monroe Meyer Institute, but that's because they're in the field.
Right.
So I think that going online or going to the Facebook page will really help learn some more.
You know what? And I'm thinking as well, if there's a parent out there that has a child that would like to be a part of the program and things like that, is there an application process or an acceptance process that they need to go through?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there are so many different departments and different types of therapies. Like I work for the UCEDD, as you mentioned, the University Center for Excellence in Developmental Disabilities. And it's federally accredited to be a UCEDD. But there are lots of departments like the feeding clinic, there's OT, there's PT, there's rec therapy. So the best way to get connected to any of those is really just to call. And they will send you to the right person to talk to. And then, so my son participates in rec therapy, and oh man, it's great. And he gets to go to Monroe camp during the summertime, and they have a winter camp, and he gets to go on Saturday mornings, and he loves to swim, and he loves to play basketball. He loves to do all those fun things, play video games, they do crafts, they do cooking. It's one of the things I like to talk about just because my son loves it so much. But for that, there is an application. There's, physical, and you have to really talk about if there are any limitations that happen or anything like that, so that the staff is well aware. And that is one example. So that's an application to do, but by calling the main number, you can get to who you need to talk to for which department you're interested in.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm just thinking for those parents out there that's such a great, you are all offering such great opportunities for our kids in our community. So
yeah, definitely.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for agreeing to be here on Education with an Edge today. Thank you for the tireless work that you're doing at Monroe Meyer Institute. Shout out to all your colleagues. We know that a more inclusive world where we can be as accommodating to everyone as possible that's the best world, right?
Yes.
And so you all are working to make that happen every single day. And we thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. It's really an honor to be here. It's great.
Thank you. Well, you heard it, folks. Please get in touch if you are interested on the Monroe Meyer website. If you have a child that you think would be a candidate for any of the various programs that they offer, it is all listed within the podcast. And I'm just going to go ahead and sign us off today. I want you to remember that you are loved and you are valued. We need your light. If you are someone that is out there that's suffering, youth that is suffering, we have a great partnership with the Boys Town Suicide Hotline. We need your light. We need your love. And keep fighting the good fight. And don't forget, subscribe to Education with an Edge so that we continue to bring light and love to youth for all around the world. We appreciate your love and support and wish you a great day. Thank you. This is Jaquel Lane signing off with Education with an Edge.
If you have a question or just want to learn more, go to jaquellane.com. Thanks for listening to Education with an Edge.
A Huda Media Production.